Okay, Gareth, good afternoon and welcome to this week's edition of Business Owner Spotlight. Thanks so much for taking the time to get involved. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit about your business?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it, and thanks for asking me. It's a good privilege.
Pleasure.
So I'm Gareth Loye, CEO for M&M Contractors Mascott Construction. So on the M&M side of the business, we're traditionally a utility company. It specialises in electric and telecom. We work across the UK and Ireland, and I've done projects as far afield as Denmark, Norway, Isle of Man, France, Canada, and then Mascott Construction is a homegrown construction business here in Northern Ireland and works across the UK and Ireland.
Excellent. And how long have you been involved with both businesses?
M&M Contractors started about 8 or 9 years ago, and then 3 years after that I acquired Mascott Construction through an acquisition. So
excellent. And what would you say has been the biggest impact from COVID on your businesses?
COVID's been absolutely strange for everybody. Strange for business and people that you work with. But what it really did show is people with characters through COVID. You know, you got these people who stayed at home and did nothing, and you get people who are ferociously active.
Sure.
To come through COVID. Businesses are the same.
Yeah.
Businesses who stayed static and just said, "Oh, it's COVID,"
yes,
will suffer.
Yeah.
Businesses who actively went out and looked for business and tried to drive the business forward will come out of COVID and has done stronger than ever. And will have that drive because they've feared slowing down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So instead of slowing down, they kept pushing and pushing. COVID in, then they were off their springboard.
Kept going. Yeah, excellent. And what sort of things did you have to put in place in the business to react to that scenario?
Well, on our utility side, we generally kept going because obviously broadband connections that increased, that bandwidth increased.
Yeah.
So that involved us practically to work through COVID.
Sure.
Our infrastructure side didn't really get a break.
Okay.
Electric demands went up, telecom went up, broadband went up.
Okay.
And those connections and those projects that were scheduled in all went ahead, which was quite difficult because there were a lot of people that sort of worked away from home for a couple months at a time and had to stay away from their families, so it was quite a difficult time for them.
Yeah.
But it was something that had to be done.
Yeah. And who would you say, for each business, who would you say would be your kind of ideal customer or client to work with?
All very, very different.
Okay.
All different because there's no ideal customer. Each one we enjoy working with for a specific reason. Some because their projects are smaller but they're more intimate.
Yeah.
So you get to get one-on-one experience.
Sure.
Then you come with another client who's got a bigger project with bigger ideas.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, that's pretty cool too because it's the exact opposite.
Sure.
And then you come with ones that are very much focused on innovation.
Yeah.
And you don't know where it's going.
Yeah.
So it can lead you down another path, and
Yeah.
then you start to think, right, okay, wow, I'm not quite sure, but let me work through the process with you. And then some are concept and some are ideas, and those types of clients would post those, and you get to work with them through those ideas to bring them to reality.
Yeah.
So each one of them is quite different. All has their own fun factor, which is pretty good.
Yeah. What would you say has been the biggest learning you've had since you became a business owner?
There's lots. Business owning, it never stops.
Yeah.
Never stops learning. You never stop growing.
Sure.
And when you think you've got it sussed, you don't.
Yeah.
And it's, people say, oh, it's really cool, like, and yeah, it's bloody hard work.
Yeah.
And every day is different, and every problem's a problem, and you have to work through it.
Yeah.
A lot of it you pick up through all your mistakes, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes those mistakes cost money.
Yeah.
But
they're inevitable.
they are.
Yeah.
So I think through business, the more mistakes you make, the stronger you become, the more knowledge you become, and as long as you're learning from those mistakes right through, where you'll go wrong is if you don't learn.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I kind of.
And you become blindsided by it. And
it's take. I mean, there's no such thing as failing. It's just learning from your mistakes.
It's if you turn around and go, what did I do wrong? Like,
Yeah.
and it is me. Like,
Yeah.
it's nobody else. It's me.
And what, we talked a little bit about COVID there, but normal times or aside from COVID, what would you say have been the biggest challenges you've had to overcome?
So rapid growth.
Okay.
So through our business life, we have grown tremendously.
Yeah.
We've tackled new countries, new industries, which involves a new structure, a new management structure, financing. How do you keep that all together?
Yeah.
How do you build a bigger team, better team,
Yeah.
and keep developing that without those changes affecting your current business?
The quality of your product or your
Absolutely, all of that. So it's like, hey, it's really, really difficult, and we didn't have it sussed, and you bring in new people. If you bring in too many new people, they don't integrate
Sure.
into the team quick enough.
Culture can change.
Culture can change overnight.
Yeah.
And and it's one of the biggest assets in a business. The asset is, if your culture starts to change, it becomes toxic.
Yeah.
So you gotta keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
So the wrong characters and the wrong people in the business mightn't fit. So for example, in our business, like it's just throw out there, like bring in an Oxford grad and they'll be most brainiest people in the world, and you say, here, boom. But if they don't integrate to the team and
Yeah.
don't fit the culture, that person's become fairly redundant fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Where if they have, a good person, and they just slot in and they can work with the team and their team bring them along,
Yeah.
they can add value, that's brilliant.
Yeah, so it's more around the attitude and the fit of the person as opposed to just their ability or their qualification.
It's both. It's
Yeah.
both. So if you got a nice combination of both,
Yeah.
and one can enhance the other and vice versa. So if you can get that, bring it in, incorporate it, and the team can work better and stronger,
Yeah.
then that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's a bit about your businesses. What about you then? What have you learned about yourself on your journey?
I always live by the view, you're always looking for and trying to be your better self.
Yeah.
So for me, that's everything. The mistakes that I made, to go, hey, what did I do wrong? How can I be better? And things that I try and work on is to be honest with yourself and say, yeah, I got that wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. How can I not do that again?
Yeah.
How can I handle that better?
Yeah.
What was the reaction from that conversation I had?
Yes.
Maybe was right in my head, but didn't communicate
Yeah.
across totally different.
Yeah. So it's that sort of self-awareness.
Yeah, so the conversation has to be two, so you have to understand that you're saying and being honest with the person
Yeah.
exactly across. And what I found is one of the key things is just integrity.
Yeah.
Just being very straight and very honest.
That's kind of key to being a good leader, would you say?
Yeah, because that takes away the misunderstanding, going, is he actually saying, or is he actually saying this?
Yes.
Or does he really mean this?
Yes.
Where it removes all those.
Yeah. It's more just direct communication.
Yes. So it's, he is being honest and
Yeah.
straight with me, and that's okay. And he's not saying this, but means this.
And who would you say has been the best mentor to you or coach that you've ever had, and why?
That's actually an easy one actually. When I was very young, I was very enthusiastic and very headstrong and very focused and very driven.
Yeah.
Which is a toxic mix, just of madness,
Yeah.
where you don't see the don't see things clearly,
Yeah.
and you're going in one direction where people are with you or not.
You kind of got the blinkers on a little
You
bit.
got the blinkers on. You're
Yeah.
going that way, and you sort of have this attitude where like, hey, I don't care if I'm going this way.
Yeah.
Get on the bus or get off it.
Yeah.
Totally doesn't work.
Yeah.
So there was a lady that I met as a mentor, and yeah, she took some training and realization that the conversations are two, and you have to understand whatever you're saying, that the person understands it.
Yes.
You can't sustain this pace. You need to have people that you can work with and work better together, and she is very good. Took me months to realize that.
Months is probably quick.
Months and months I was going to have. Do myself a favour actually.
Yeah, it's making me think of saying, if you want to
Took me a day, so.
if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
That's it. That's totally it. So Yeah, and I suppose it did. I said once, but it took me a long time because she'd go, right, okay, run me through that conversation, and she'd go, do you know what you actually said to that person? And be like, oh shit.
Yeah, no, but that that makes sense, and fair play to you. You've had to work on yourself there, and that's been what's been important to to realize that in yourself to get better so that you can lead your team better then.
Yeah, and it's exciting because that develops you, and you're just going, yeah, right, okay, and you sort of work on these aspects of it, and then you think, right, can I get that half, so what else can I do? Because there's nothing better than investing in yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you can be a better person, then you can lead better, and then you can invest in the people that work with you as well, so you're all in alignment.
Yes.
So I went through that stage as well, where you're just like totally selfish and saying, oh, I'll invest in myself because that's what's going to take.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but I kind of forgot there's a team there, so I'm moving on with the vision.
Yes.
Moving on with, I've this knowledge.
Yeah.
I'm like, I haven't trained anybody else
Have to come with you.
Yeah, and nobody else really understands, and nor have you taken the time to explain the vision and strategy.
Yeah. Kept a big secret.
It's a big secret. Why would you share? Why would you share such important, non-important information? Yeah, I've done all this. Like.
Yeah. No, it's a common tale. So I'm getting then the key to this whole thing is getting the right people in the right place.
It is. I think so. Yeah.
And as early as you can, would you say?
There's a time and a place. So where we generally start is we kind of chatted about this before. So take it back at basic principles of business for me, right? Okay, we have our end of financial year coming.
Yeah.
So we take one step back.
Yeah.
Two steps back. So our end of financial year, for example, is 31st October.
Yes.
Okay. So in August, we'll sit around the board table and develop our strategy for the following year.
Good, yeah.
So that is mainline targets, turnover, locations, work, sectors, high level.
Yeah.
We'll take that away and run through the board in September and say, okay, this is the budgets that it's going to take to do that.
Yeah.
So the budgets then will set out then for October is what is our structure like to do that?
Yeah.
What do we need to do that?
Kind of reverse engineering it then.
Yeah. So these are targets on what we need. Now we have a set strategy ready to go for the year 2, 3 and 4.
Sure.
Sorry, 1, 2 and 3. So then 1 is right now.
Yes.
So that's it. 2 is out there, we see it, but we'll keep an eye on it.
Yes.
Working through 1 as well. So we're ready to go into the next financial year, but then we've determined who we need for that.
Yeah.
So instead of saying getting halfway through the year going, hey, gee, we're saying,
Yeah.
So let's set that out now. And we'll know based on the amount of turnover, the gross margin we'll feed into the overhead that we need. That's fairly simple business.
Yeah.
So we know where that all fits. So that then will tell us, do we need more or do we need less?
Yeah, or of whatever resource it happens to be.
Absolutely everything.
Yeah.
So it's, and that all filters through, and then that's what we monitor. Our finances on a weekly basis, our CVRs and cost reconciliation on a monthly basis, our accounts, our board meetings every month, our SMTs every month are just monitored through that.
Yeah, and to see are you on track with
on target. So that takes us through every single month. How are we performing?
Yeah.
Are we doing all right? Are we on target?
Yeah.
And that then once we get through that, our cost reconciliation, we'll develop our finance, our accounts every month. So you need your accounts every month.
Of course, yeah.
Some people leave the 12 year and it becomes a big surprise.
Yeah. Did I have any money at the end of the year?
No, every month.
Yeah.
Every month, targeting then same with your sales and same with the quality of product that you're providing.
Yeah, no, it's textbook stuff. Keen to know though, how long did it take you to get that sort of management of your business in place?
Still doing
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
So it takes a month to break it and a month to get it in place.
Yeah.
And that's as simple as that. So you go. So the key to all this is a calendar of dates.
Yeah.
And the execution of those.
Yes.
You miss that, then everything else falls and you're into the next month.
Yeah.
So unless you close your ledgers, carry your CVRs, have your SMT meeting, then you're fine. You're working, unless you do that in a calendar month throughout the month.
Yeah.
And that all has to fall. If you don't, then you're into the next month. If you're in the next month, you might as well go on to the next month because you've just missed.
Yes, and you don't have anything to measure it against, essentially.
No, so you have to stick to it.
Yeah.
Like a religion.
Yeah.
Or else you're into your next month.
Yeah, no, makes sense. What I would like to know is, if you were to start your business again, is there anything you would do differently?
It's a good question. Lots.
Yeah.
No, well, I guess all the decisions I made were right at that time.
Sure.
I'm not one person to look back and go, is it right or wrong?
Yeah.
I made the decision because I believed it was right.
Mm-hmm.
Then, for circumstances and personal circumstances and what I believed was right, looking back at it now, I wouldn't change anything.
Fair enough.
Because all those decisions were 50% right and 50% wrong.
And you learn from.
But if I didn't do the 50% wrong,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have learned.
Yeah.
So you might as well, do all of that. Yeah, I'm sure there's external circumstances that probably would have helped me excel better.
Sure.
But there's nothing to do with that.
Yeah. Controllables, isn't it?
That's just life. So 50% of the mistakes, probably I'm grateful for.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's a good way
Because
to
I
look
made
at
the
it.
mistake and survived, which is the key.
And stronger for it.
And stronger for it.
So what does the future look like for you guys, and what would you say are the main challenges moving forward?
Oh my goodness. Talk about bringing a downer to
Finish on a high.
the middle of the interview. I finished on a high, okay. Guess you'll get sacked from your next interview, Jim. Okay, so challenges, it's lots.
Yeah.
There's lots. We have COVID, we have Brexit, we have the border. That's always a fun one.
Yeah.
We have fuel prices,
Yeah.
which affect material prices, oil prices, changing territories, changing graphics
Yeah.
around the world, what's happening. In between that, you get some sort of shipping disasters happening there as well.
Okay.
So everything is just really unstable.
Yes.
Prices are fluctuating by the day. So what does that mean? Uncertainty.
Yeah.
What does that mean? People generally hold back.
Yes.
You've got potentially a global recession coming in.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I guess that creates uncertainty.
Okay.
It creates uncertainty with banks, developers, funders.
Yeah.
They're holding back, saying, you know what, I'm happy enough. I'll just wait this out to see what happens.
See what way the world looks.
See what the way it looks. 12 months down the line, it could be different. I'll invest over here.
Yes.
So we get this stalemate, and that's the worst thing that can happen because everything else sort of slows down. So what does that mean for us? At the minute, it's kind of okay because our order book for next year is fully booked.
Okay.
Bar we have about 10% more capacity. So any repeat clients that come will fit them in.
Yeah.
Apart from that, we're done.
Yeah.
But what does that mean? That's nice to hear, but the fluctuations in labour shortages, where the world is, a recession, etc., that's all changing. So yes, we have the work worked in, but this thing is going to get more expensive, more cheaper.
Yeah.
That's where we have to monitor, and we'll see where that is.
And just the key to it all then is going to be having to be agile and be able to react to it.
The key to it all is understand the problem, understand that it's there, and don't get engrossed by it.
Yeah.
Because it's there and it's not going to change.
And it's there for everybody.
It's there for everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to have the same pain and the same issues. So it's good that business, you see it in the future,
Yeah.
you know what's coming.
You're aware of it.
Apart from that, my view is it's good, we'll monitor it, but just keep going.
Yeah.
Keep driving and keep driving out. Driving the processes through and trying to better the bottom line.
Last question then. If you could go back in time and speak to an 18-year-old Gareth, what piece of advice would you give him?
Go to a different career.
That was it.
No, I'm happy. I'm content.
Yeah.
I never look back, so I'm fine. I tell him, 18-year-old.
Tell him to go for it.
I tell him just do what you're gonna do,
Right.
but just do it fast and do it a lot and figure your way through it.
Very good.
So don't stand still. Keep moving. Keep learning. Keep making mistakes, and you'll figure it out.
Cool.
The worst thing I think you could do is bumble through, do nothing, don't figure it out, don't become any better or understand anything.
Don't try.
And don't try. It's the worst thing can happen.
Yeah. Gareth, listen, I really enjoyed our chat. I took a lot from it and hope everybody else will.
Good, thank you.
And
Thanks for having me.
thanks for taking the time to get involved.
Thank you.
Thanks.